You want me to do the job you fired me from? I don't think so. I work in a lab doing lab management. A few months back, they gave me this extra role handling documentation and dealing with the cryogenic storage. It's the big freezer tanks that keep samples at like -300 degrees or whatever. You gotta log everything, track what goes in and out, make sure nothing thaws. Basic stuff, but it matters. So last Friday, there's this team meeting scheduled. Normal, right? Except I'm not invited. Everyone else is in there for like an hour, and I'm just sitting at my desk confused as hell. After it ends, my coworker Jamie comes up to me looking super uncomfortable. "Dude, you're not gonna like this," she says. Turns out the whole meeting was about me. My manager told everyone that I'm being taken off the documentation role. They're giving it to someone else who's more knowledgeable on the subject, which is code for someone with the science degree I don't have. Here's the thing though. There's this scientist in the lab, Dr. Harper, who's kind of a jerk. 2 weeks ago, one of his experiments got ruined. He immediately blamed me, said I did something wrong with the storage logs. Except I didn't do anything. I checked my records 3 times. The mistake was on his end, but instead of admitting it, he went to my manager and complained. My manager never asked me about it, never came to me to get my side. Just decided to believe Dr. Harper and punish me by taking away part of my job. And then announced it to the entire team without even telling me first. Like I'm just gonna find out through gossip. I'm sitting there Friday afternoon, still processing this, when I get a message on Teams. It's from Greg, the new guy they're training to take over my role. He's been here maybe 2 months. "Hey, can you handle the documentation for the samples Dr. Harper needs logged? He's got a time crunch and needs them processed before 6 p.m. or he'll have to stay late." I just stared at my screen. You've got to be kidding me. They take my job away, don't even officially tell me, and now the new person wants me to do it anyway because they don't know how yet. And it's for Dr. Harper, the guy who got me removed in the first place? I typed back, "I'll get back to you." Then I closed Teams and went back to my actual work. Greg messages me again at 4:30 p.m. "Hey, did you get a chance to look at that?" I didn't respond. At 5:45 p.m. my phone buzzes. It's Jamie. Greg is freaking out. He doesn't know how to log the samples and Dr. Harper is pissed. Good, I thought. At 6:15 p.m. I see Dr. Harper walk past my desk toward the cryogenic storage room. He's got his coat on like he was about to leave but clearly couldn't. Greg is trailing behind him looking stressed. I could hear Dr. Harper's voice echoing down the hall. This should have been done hours ago. Where is she? They were in there until almost 9 p.m. I left at 5:30 p.m. like usual. Monday morning, my manager finally calls me into her office. First time she's spoken to me since this all started. "We're transitioning the documentation role to Greg," she says, like it's news. "We think it's better to have someone with more subject expertise handling it." "Okay," I said. "Greg mentioned he reached out to you Friday for help with something and you didn't respond. Going forward, we'll need you to assist with training him until he's up to speed." I just looked at her. "You want me to train him to do the job you removed me from?" She blinked. "It's temporary, just until he learns the systems." I wasn't informed I was being removed until after the fact. Greg asked me to do work I apparently don't have the expertise for anymore. Which is it? She didn't have an answer for that. "I'll need to think about it," I told her, and left her office. I didn't help Greg. Over the next 2 weeks, he kept screwing up. Sample mix-ups, incorrect logs, mislabeled storage. Dr. Harper's experiments were getting compromised. Then Wednesday afternoon, I'm at my desk when Jamie appears, her face pale. She shows me her phone. It's an email thread she was accidentally CC'd on. My manager, the lab director, and Dr. Harper. The subject line, termination discussion. They're planning to fire me tomorrow morning. Before I can process this, my manager walks past and stops. "Can you come to my office?" "Now." My stomach drops as I follow her. When I get there, Dr. Harper is already sitting across from her desk. My manager closes the door. Greg just called in sick and there's a critical issue with the grant samples. They need to be logged and processed within the next 2 hours, or the entire batch becomes unusable. $15 million in funding. Dr. Harper leans forward. "You're the only one who knows the system well enough to fix this in time." I stand there, looking at the 2 people who've been planning to fire me tomorrow morning, now begging me to save their project. I let the silence stretch out. My manager shifts in her chair. Dr. Harper's jaw tightens. "So let me get this straight," I say. "You're firing me tomorrow? But today you need me to fix a problem that wouldn't exist if you hadn't removed me from my job in the first place." My manager opens her mouth, but I keep going. "The job you said I wasn't qualified for. The job you gave to Greg without even talking to me first. That job." Dr. Harper stands up. "This isn't the time for attitude. We have 2 hours before those samples are compromised. Do you understand what that means?" "I understand perfectly," I say. "What I don't understand is why you think I'd help you." My manager's face goes red. "Because you still work here. For now." The threat hangs in the air. I pull out my phone and open my email. Right there at the top is a message from HR. Scheduled meeting for tomorrow at 9 a.m. Subject line is blank, but I know what it is. "Actually," I say, holding up my phone, "looks like I work here for about 18 more hours. And you need this done in 2. So no, I'm not going to help you. I turn toward the door. Wait, Dr. Harper's voice is different now, less demanding. What do you want? I stop with my hand on the doorknob. What do I want? Name it, my manager says. We can work something out. I look at both of them. The panic is starting to show. Dr. Harper keeps glancing at his watch. My manager has this thin line of sweat on her forehead. I want my job back, I say. The documentation role, with a written apology for how this was handled. And I want it in writing that Greg reports to me, not the other way around. Dr. Harper shakes his head. That's not possible. Greg has the credentials. Then good luck with your samples, I say, and open the door. Wait. My manager is up now, moving around her desk. Let's not be hasty. We can discuss this. You have 90 minutes, I say, checking my phone. I'm going to get coffee. When I come back, you can tell me your decision. I walk out before either of them can respond. Jamie catches me at the elevator. Oh my God, what happened? You were in there for like 2 minutes. They want me to save Dr. Harper's grant samples, I say. The ones Greg screwed up? Her eyes go wide. Are you going to do it? Depends on what they offer me. They're going to fire you tomorrow. I know. I saw the email. The elevator doors open and we step inside. Jamie is quiet for a second, then she says, You know Greg didn't call in sick, right? I look at her. What? He quit this morning. Sent an email at like 6 a.m. and said he was done. He told me last week this job was way harder than he thought and Dr. Harper was riding him constantly. The elevator reaches the ground floor. This information changes things. They don't just need me for 2 hours. They need me, period, because Greg is gone. I get my coffee and take my time. When I get back upstairs, my manager is standing outside her office with the lab director, Dr. Kelso. He's the big boss. Rarely see him on this floor. Can we talk? Dr. Kelso says. It's not really a question. We go back into my manager's office. Dr. Harper is still there, now on his phone, texting frantically. Dr. Kelso sits down in my manager's chair. She stands awkwardly to the side. I'm going to be direct, Dr. Kelso says. We made a mistake. Dr. Harper raised concerns about the documentation procedures and we acted without getting full information. That was wrong. Dr. Harper doesn't look up from his phone. Greg resigned this morning, Dr. Kelso continues, which means we need someone who knows the systems. That's you. You were going to fire me, I say. That's been canceled, Dr. Kelso says. The meeting tomorrow is off. What about my documentation role? It's yours. Effective immediately. I shake my head. That's not good enough. I want it in writing. I want a formal apology added to my file. And I want a raise. My manager makes a small noise. Dr. Kelso holds up a hand to silence her. How much of a raise? 15%. 10. 12.5. Dr. Kelso nods once. Done. But I need you in that storage room right now fixing whatever Greg broke. I stand up. Send me the written agreement in the next hour. I'll get started once I have it. We don't have an hour, Dr. Harper says, finally looking up. We have 45 minutes. Then I guess you better type fast, I say, and walk out. Jamie is waiting by my desk. Well, they're giving me everything I asked for, I say. Written agreement coming in an hour. But the samples, they have 45 minutes, she grins. You're really going to make them sweat. They made me sweat for 2 weeks, I say. They can handle 45 minutes. I sit down at my desk and pull up my regular work. Every few minutes I can hear footsteps going past, heading toward the storage room. Dr. Harper walks by 3 times. The 3rd time he stops. Please, he says. Just that one word. I look at him. Really look at him. This guy who threw me under the bus to save his own reputation? Who didn't have the guts to admit his own mistake? Who got me demoted without a second thought? Did you ever think about apologizing to me? I ask. For blaming me for your screw-up? He doesn't answer. That's what I thought, I say, and go back to my computer. He walks away. 30 minutes later, my email pings. It's from HR. A formal agreement restoring my documentation role, a written apology that will be added to my personnel file, and confirmation of a 12.5% salary increase effective next pay period. At the bottom is a signature line. I read it twice to make sure everything is there. Then I sign it electronically and send it back. Then I grab my badge and head to the cryogenic storage room. When I get there, Dr. Harper is standing outside the sealed chamber, watching through the window. My manager is on her phone. Dr. Kelso is there too now, arms crossed. I need everyone out except Dr. Harper, I say. Dr. Kelso frowns. Why? Because he's going to help me, and I want him to see exactly what he put at risk when he decided I wasn't qualified for this job. Dr. Harper's expression is hard to read, but he nods and follows me into the chamber. The temperature drops immediately. -300 degrees is no joke. We're both wearing the required protective gear, but you can still feel the cold seeping through. I pull up the digital logs on the terminal inside. It's worse than I thought. Greg didn't just make mistakes. He completely failed to follow the tracking protocols. Samples are logged under the wrong codes. Temperature readings weren't recorded. Some containers aren't labeled at all. How bad is it? Dr. Harper asks, his breath making little clouds in the air. Bad, I say, but not unfixable. I start pulling samples, checking them against the master list Dr. Harper provided. 20 minutes in, I find the problem. 3 containers were placed in the wrong tank section. The temperature differential isn't huge, but it's enough to compromise the integrity of the samples over time. These need to be moved immediately, I say. Pointing, Dr. Harper helps me relocate them to the correct section. Then we spend another 20 minutes relogging everything, fixing the codes, updating the temperature readings. When we finish, we're both shivering despite the gear. We exit the chamber and strip off the protective equipment in the staging area. Is it salvageable? Dr. Kelso asks immediately. Yes, I say. But it was close. Another hour and you would have lost the whole batch. Dr. Harper exhales. Thank you. I don't acknowledge it. I just start writing up the incident report on the computer in the staging area. What went wrong, what I fixed, what protocols need to be reinforced going forward. My manager hovers nearby. About tomorrow's meeting, it's canceled, I say, not looking up. I got the email from HR. Right, yes, I just wanted to say, don't, I interrupt. I have it in writing. That's all I need. She leaves. When I finish the report, I send it to everyone relevant and head back to my desk. It's almost 7 p.m. The lab is mostly empty now. Jamie is still there packing up her stuff. You did it, she says. Yeah, so what now? Now I do my job, I say. Same as always, but we both know it's not the same. Not anymore. The next morning I come in and there's a lab-wide email from Dr. Kelso. Subject, documentation protocol changes. The email outlines new procedures for the cryogenic storage system. All changes require sign-off from the documentation manager before implementation. All scientists must complete a training module on proper logging procedures. Non-compliance will result in immediate suspension of lab privileges. At the bottom, these changes are effective immediately and are non-negotiable. It's a power shift. A big one. And everyone knows it came from what happened yesterday. I spend the morning rebuilding the documentation system from scratch, creating clearer protocols, writing training materials, making it impossible for anyone to claim they didn't know the correct procedures. Around 10 a.m., Dr. Harper shows up at my desk. He's holding 2 coffee cups. He sets one down in front of me. Peace offering, he says. I don't touch it. What do you want? I need to get access to the storage system for a new project. Dr. Kelso said I need your approval first. There it is. The new reality. He can't do his work without going through me now. Send me the project details and the sample list, I say. I'll review it and get back to you. He hesitates. How long will that take? However long it takes to make sure everything is done correctly, I say. So it doesn't end up like yesterday. His jaw tightens, but he nods and walks away. Jamie leans over from her desk. You're really going to make him work for it? He made me work for my job back, I say. Seems fair. Over the next week, things settle into a new rhythm. Dr. Harper submits his requests, and I review them with extreme attention to detail. Every I gets dotted, every T gets crossed. He hates it. I can tell by the way his emails get shorter and more clipped, but he doesn't complain. Not to me, not to Dr. Kelso, because he knows he doesn't have a leg to stand on. Other scientists in the lab start coming to me with questions, things they would have normally figured out themselves or asked Dr. Harper about. But now they want to make sure they're doing it right because they saw what happened when someone didn't. My manager mostly avoids me. When we do interact, it's brief and professional. The warmth that used to be there, the casual conversations, that's all gone. I don't miss it. Friday afternoon, I get a message from HR asking me to come down to their office. My stomach drops for a second before I remember the termination meeting was canceled. This is probably something else. When I get there, the HR director, Patricia, is waiting. She's older, been with the company for like 20 years. Have a seat, she says, gesturing to the chair across from her desk. I sit down, trying to read her expression. I wanted to follow up on the incident from last week, she says. Make sure everything was resolved to your satisfaction. It was, I say carefully. I got everything in writing. Good. I also wanted to let you know that we're implementing some changes to how performance issues are handled in the lab. Moving forward, any concerns about an employee's performance must be documented and discussed with the employee before any action is taken. I nod slowly. Because of what happened to me. Because we recognized a gap in our process, Patricia says diplomatically. You weren't given an opportunity to respond to the concerns raised against you. That was a failure on our part. Will Dr. Harper face any consequences? Patricia's expression doesn't change. Personnel matters are confidential. But I can tell you that all parties involved have been counseled on proper procedure, which means they talked to him but didn't actually do anything. Figures. Is there anything else you need from me? Patricia asks. No, I say, standing up. I think we're good. As I'm leaving, she calls out, one more thing. Your performance review is coming up next month. Given everything that's happened, I think it would be beneficial for you to document your recent contributions. The crisis you resolved, the new procedures you've implemented. Make sure it's all on record. I pause at the door. Are you saying I should protect myself? I'm saying you should make sure your work is properly recognized, Patricia says. That's all. I head back upstairs, turning this over in my mind. Patricia just gave me a warning disguised as advice. Someone, probably my manager or Dr. Harper, is going to try something at my review. They're They're going to try to downplay what I did or find some other reason to criticize my performance. Back at my desk, I start putting together a file. Every email where someone asked for my help, every problem I solved, every procedure I documented, screenshots of the before and after logs from the grant sample crisis, testimonials from other lab staff about the training materials I created. By the end of the day, I have a 30-page document outlining exactly what I've accomplished in the past 6 months. I save it in 3 different places and email a copy to my personal account. That weekend, I barely think about work. I spend Saturday hiking with some friends and Sunday meal prepping for the week. It feels good to have something in my life that isn't connected to the lab. Monday morning, I come in to find my manager standing at my desk. "We need to talk," she says. Here we go. We walk to her office and she closes the door. "I wanted to give you a heads up about something. Dr. Kelso is bringing in a consultant to review our lab operations. They're going to be looking at efficiency, procedures, staffing." "When?" I ask. "They start next week. They'll be here for about a month, interviewing everyone, observing workflows." "Why are you telling me this?" She looks uncomfortable. "Because they're going to ask about what happened with your role change. And the incident with the grant samples. I wanted you to be prepared." "Prepared how?" "Just be honest. But also be aware that this review could result in restructuring. Position changes, budget cuts. The implication is clear. They're going to try to get rid of me another way. Make it look like a business decision instead of retaliation." "Thanks for the warning," I say, and leave her office. I message Jamie immediately. "Did you hear about the consultant?" "Just got the email," she replies. "Think it's because of what happened?" "Definitely. What are you going to do?" "Good question." I spend the rest of the day thinking about it. By the time I leave that evening, I have a plan. I start documenting everything. Every task I complete, I log it. Every question someone asks me, I note it. Every time I save someone from making a mistake with the storage system, I write it down with timestamps and names. I also start keeping copies of all communications. Every email, every Teams message, every text. If they're going to try to build a case against me, I'm going to make damn sure I have evidence to counter it. The consultant arrives the following Monday. His name is Brent Carmichael, and he's one of those guys who wears expensive suits and takes notes on an iPad. Very corporate, very polished. He sets up in one of the conference rooms and starts calling people in for interviews. Each session is about an hour. Jamie goes on Tuesday morning. When she comes back, she looks stressed. He asked a lot of questions about the documentation procedures. She says quietly. About how they were before and how they are now. About who was responsible for what. What did you tell him? The truth. That you handled everything perfectly fine until Dr. Harper complained and they removed you. Then Greg screwed everything up. Then they begged you to fix it. Did he seem like he had an agenda? Jamie shrugs. Hard to tell. He just kept taking notes and asking follow-up questions. My interview is scheduled for Wednesday afternoon. I spend the morning mentally preparing, reviewing my documentation file, making sure I have all my facts straight. When I walk into the conference room at 2 p.m., Brent is sitting at the table with his iPad and a leather portfolio. He stands and shakes my hand. "Thanks for meeting with me," he says. "This should take about an hour. I'm just trying to get a comprehensive picture of how the lab operates." "Sure," I say, sitting down across from him. He starts with basic questions. How long have I worked here? What my responsibilities are? How I interact with the science team? Easy stuff. Then he shifts. "I understand there was an incident a few weeks ago involving some grant samples. Can you walk me through what happened?" I tell him everything. The meeting I wasn't invited to, the role change, Greg's requests for help, the termination email, the crisis with the samples. I keep it factual, unemotional, just the sequence of events. Brent takes notes the whole time. "And after you resolved the crisis, what changed?" "I got my documentation roll back with a raise. Dr. Kelso implemented new protocols requiring my approval for storage access." "How did Dr. Harper react to these changes?" "He follows the procedures," I say carefully. "He's not happy about it, but he complies." "And your manager?" "She's been professional," Brent nods, making more notes. "Do you feel like the situation has been fully resolved?" This feels like a trap question. If I say yes, I look satisfied and not worth worrying about. If I say no, I look like I'm holding a grudge. "I feel like I'm doing my job," I say. "That's what matters to me." "Fair enough." Brent closes his portfolio. "One last question. If you could change anything about how the lab operates, what would it be?" I think about this. Better communication. When there's a problem, talk to everyone involved before making decisions. Don't just take one person's word for it. "That seems reasonable," Brent says. "Thanks for your time." I leave the conference room feeling like I held my ground, but not sure what he's actually thinking. Over the next 2 weeks, Brent interviews everyone in the lab. He shadows different people during their work. He sits in on team meetings. He reviews files and procedures and budget reports. Then he disappears. Just stops showing up. No announcement, no final meeting. Just gone. A week later, Dr. Kelso calls an all-staff meeting. Everyone crams into the main conference room. There's maybe 30 of us total. Dr. Kelso stands at the front with a PowerPoint pulled up. "Thanks for your patience during the operational review." Brent has submitted his report, and we've made some decisions based on his recommendations. Here it comes. First, we're restructuring the lab management team. We're creating a new position called Operations Coordinator who will oversee all non-research functions, including documentation, equipment maintenance, and safety compliance. My heart starts pounding. They're eliminating my position and replacing it with something else. This person will report directly to me rather than through the research management chain. We're doing this to prevent conflicts of interest and ensure that operational concerns are given appropriate priority. He clicks to the next slide. It's an org chart. At the top is Dr. Kelso. Below him are 3 boxes: Research Director, Operations Coordinator, and Lab Manager. The Operations Coordinator position will be posted internally this week. We encourage anyone interested to apply. So they're making me compete for my own job, or a version of it. The meeting ends and everyone files out talking in low voices. Jamie catches up with me in the hallway. "Are you going to apply?" she asks. "I don't know," I say honestly. That night, I read the job posting 3 times. The requirements are basically my current role plus some additional safety and compliance stuff. The pay is significantly higher than what I make now, even with my recent raise. But here's the thing. It reports to Dr. Kelso, not my current manager, which means I'd be completely out of her chain of command. And the job description explicitly states that the operations coordinator has authority to shut down any research activity that violates safety or documentation protocols. It's basically everything. I'd need to make sure what happened to me can't happen to anyone else. I spend the weekend working on my application. I include my documentation file showing everything I've accomplished. I write a cover letter explaining my vision for how the role could improve lab operations. I get 3 letters of recommendation from other staff members. Monday morning, I submit it. 2 days later, I get called in for an interview. It's with Dr. Kelso and 2 people from corporate I've never met before. They ask tough questions about how I'd handle various scenarios, conflicts between research and operational needs, budget constraints. I answer honestly. Sometimes that means saying, "I don't know," but explaining how I'd figure it out. They seem to appreciate that more than if I'd pretended to have all the answers. A week goes by, then another. I don't hear anything. Meanwhile, work continues as normal. Dr. Harper submits his requests and I approve them. My manager assigns me tasks and I complete them. Jamie and I eat lunch together and gossip about lab drama that doesn't involve me for once. Then on a Thursday afternoon, I get an email from Dr. Kelso asking me to come to his office at 4 p.m. I spend the next hour convinced I didn't get the job. They probably gave it to someone with more experience or better credentials or corporate connections. At 4 p.m. exactly, I knock on Dr. Kelso's door. "Come in," he calls. I enter and he gestures for me to sit. On his desk is a folder with my name on it. "I'm not going to drag this out," he says. "The operations coordinator position is yours if you want it." Relief floods through me. "I want it. Good, you'll start in 2 weeks. That gives you time to document your current responsibilities and train your replacement." My replacement? "For your lab management duties. You'll still handle documentation and storage oversight as part of the new role, but the general administrative work will go to someone else." He slides the folder across the desk. Inside is an offer letter. The salary is 30% higher than what I make now. There are also better benefits, more vacation time, and a significant professional development budget. "This is more than I expected," I say. "The consultant's report was very clear," Dr. Kelso says. "You were put in an impossible situation, and not only did you handle it professionally, you improved our entire operational framework in the process. That's exactly the kind of leadership we need in this role." I sign the offer letter right there. When I leave his office, Jamie is waiting by the elevators. "Well, I got it," I say. She hugs me. "Oh my God, congratulations. When do you start?" 2 weeks. We go out for drinks after work to celebrate. A few other people from the lab join us. Everyone is genuinely happy for me. Even people I don't know that well come up to say congratulations. What's notable is who isn't there. My manager, Dr. Harper, a few others from the research team who were probably hoping I'd just quietly go away. The next 2 weeks are a whirlwind. I document every process I handle. I create training guides. I identify someone to take over my current duties. A woman named Priya who's been in lab administration for a few years and is way overqualified for her current role. I meet with Priya every day, walking her through everything. She picks it up fast. Way faster than Greg ever did. "This is actually pretty straightforward," she says on day 3 of training. I don't understand why Greg had so much trouble. "Greg didn't want to do the work," I say. "He wanted the title that came with having a science degree but didn't want to deal with the boring parts." Priya nods. His loss, my gain, I guess. On my last day in my old role, my manager calls me into her office one final time. "I just wanted to say good luck in your new position," she says stiffly. "Thanks," I reply. There's an awkward pause. Then she says, "I hope you understand that the decisions we made were what we thought was best for the lab at the time. I understand you made decisions without getting all the information," I say. "And I understand that almost cost the lab $15 million. What I don't understand is why you never apologized for it." She blinks. I thought the written apology was required by Dr. Kelso. I finish. You never actually apologized. Not once in person did you say you were sorry for how you handled things. She doesn't have a response to that. It's fine, I say, standing up. I don't need an apology anymore. I have something better. I have a job where I report to someone who actually listens. Walk out of her office for the last time. My first day as operations coordinator starts with a meeting with Dr. Kelso. He walks me through his expectations, introduces me to key people in corporate, and gives me access to systems I've never seen before. Your main priority for the first month is to do a complete audit of our safety and documentation procedures, he says. I want to know what we're doing well and what needs improvement. Don't hold back. If something is broken, I need to know about it. I spend the next 4 weeks going through every procedure in the lab: safety protocols, equipment maintenance schedules, chemical storage, waste disposal, documentation standards, everything. What I find is not great. A lot of procedures exist on paper but aren't actually followed. Equipment maintenance is months behind schedule in some cases. Chemical storage is a mess. Documentation is inconsistent across different research teams. I compile everything into a report with specific recommendations for each issue. Some fixes are simple, just updating forms or sending reminder emails. Others are more complex, requiring new equipment or additional staff training. I present the report to Dr. Kelso on a Friday afternoon. He reads through it in silence, his expression getting more concerned with each page. This is worse than I thought, he says when he finishes. Most of it is fixable, I say, but it's going to require buy-in from the research teams. Some of them aren't going to like the changes. They don't have to like it, Dr. Kelso says flatly. They have to comply. Send this report to all the principal investigators. Schedule mandatory training sessions for next month. Anyone who doesn't attend loses lab access until they complete the training. That's going to make me very unpopular, I say. Would you rather be popular or would you rather make sure no one gets hurt because we cut corners? Dr. Kelso asks. Fair point. I send out the report that afternoon with a clear message. New procedures are being implemented. Training is mandatory. Non-compliance will have consequences. The pushback starts immediately. Dr. Harper emails me within an hour. These new requirements are going to significantly slow down my research timeline. I need an exemption for my team. I write back, no exemptions. The procedures exist for everyone's safety, including your team's. Another researcher, Dr. Lin, sends a longer email explaining why her work is too sensitive to follow the standard documentation protocols. She needs flexibility, she says, discretion. I reply with links to the relevant safety regulations and let her know I'm happy to discuss specific concerns, but the basic requirements are non-negotiable. By Monday morning, I have 15 emails from various researchers, all asking for special treatment or complaining about the new rules. I forward all of them to Dr. Kelso with a simple note. Told you I'd be unpopular. He replies, stand firm. I'll back you up. The mandatory training sessions are scheduled for the following week. I run 6 different sessions to accommodate everyone's schedules. Each one is 2 hours long and covers all the new procedures in detail. The first session is rough. Dr. Harper sits in the back with his arms crossed, barely paying attention. A few other senior researchers keep checking their phones or whispering to each other. Halfway through, Dr. Harper raises his hand. This is a waste of time. We all know how to do our jobs. Then the test at the end should be easy, I say calmly. There's a test? Someone else asks. Yes, multiple choice, 30 questions. You need to score at least 80% to pass. Anyone who fails has to retake the training. The room goes quiet. Dr. Harper's expression darkens, but he doesn't say anything else. At the end of the session, I hand out the tests. I watch as people who weren't paying attention suddenly realize they should have been. Dr. Harper finishes first and hands it in without making eye contact. When I grade the tests that evening, he got a 72. I send him an email. You scored below the passing threshold. You'll need to attend another training session and retake the test. His response comes at 11 p.m. This is ridiculous. I have 20 years of experience in this field. I write back. Then you should have no trouble passing a basic safety test. Next available session is Thursday at 2 p.m. He doesn't reply. Thursday afternoon, he shows up to the training session. This time he sits in the front row and takes notes. When I hand out the test at the end, he actually reads each question carefully before answering. He scores 94%. Congratulations, I say, handing him back his test. You passed. He takes the paper without a word and leaves. Over the next month, things settle into a new normal. The researchers grumble about the additional paperwork and safety checks, but they comply. Equipment gets properly maintained. Chemicals are stored correctly. Documentation becomes consistent across teams. I also start holding monthly safety meetings where I review any incidents or near misses and discuss how to prevent them in the future. The first few meetings have low attendance, but I make it clear that attendance is tracked and reported to Dr. Kelso. After that, everyone shows up. Jamie stops by my new office one afternoon. It's bigger than my old desk space, with a window and actual walls instead of cubicle dividers. Look at you, she says, sitting in one of my visitor chairs. Corner office and everything. It's not a corner, I point out. Close enough. How does it feel? Honestly, really good. I actually have authority now. People have to listen to me. Dr. Harper must love that. Dr. Harper is learning to live with it, I say. He submitted a grant proposal last week, and I sent it back because his safety protocols were incomplete. He fixed it and resubmitted without complaint. Character development, Jamie jokes. But she's kind of right. Dr. Harper isn't friendly to me, but he's not hostile anymore either. He's just professional. He does what I ask because he has to. And somewhere along the way, he seemed to accept that fighting it wasn't going to change anything. My old manager is a different story. She still works in the lab, but we barely interact. When we do, it's brief and cold. I've heard through the grapevine that she's looking for jobs at other institutions. Can't say I blame her. Having your former subordinate become your equal while you're still in the same role probably doesn't feel great. I don't take any pleasure in it, though. I just do my job. 6 months into my new role, Dr. Kelso calls me into his office. I wanted to give you an update on something, he says. We're opening a second lab facility across town. Bigger space, newer equipment. I'd like you to oversee the setup of all operational systems for the new site. Really? I'm caught off guard. You've done excellent work here. The safety record has improved significantly. Efficiency is up. Researcher satisfaction is actually higher, despite the additional requirements, because people feel like someone is actually paying attention to whether things are running smoothly. Thank you, I say. So, are you interested? Definitely. Good. We'll start planning next month. It's going to be a lot of work, but it's also a significant opportunity. You'll essentially be building the operational framework from scratch. I leave his office feeling something I haven't felt in a long time. Excited about work? Genuinely excited. That evening, I stop by Jamie's desk before heading home. She's packing up her stuff, getting ready to leave. Want to grab dinner? I ask. Can't, I have plans. But tomorrow? Sure. As I'm walking to my car, I pass the cryogenic storage room. Through the window, I can see someone inside doing routine maintenance. Everything is properly labeled. The logs are up to date. The system I built is working exactly as it should. I think about where I was a year ago, sitting at my desk, finding out through gossip that I was being demoted. Watching Dr. Harper walk past without a second thought about what he'd done to my career. And I think about where I am now. Operations coordinator, trusted by Dr. Kelso, about to oversee the setup of an entire new facility. It's not that I won, exactly, because this was never really a competition. But I stood up for myself when it mattered, and I refused to let them push me out. Sometimes that's enough. I get in my car and drive home, already thinking about the new lab and what systems I want to implement there, already planning how to make it better than anything we have now, because that's who I am. I see problems and I fix them, and nobody can take that away from me. Update 1, the new lab facility opens 4 months later. I spend those months working 16-hour days, designing workflows, ordering equipment, training new staff. It's exhausting, but in a good way. Like I'm building something that matters. The new site is in a converted pharmaceutical building on the east side. 20,000 square feet of open lab space, brand new HVAC systems, state-of-the-art safety equipment. Everything the old lab should have been. I hire 3 people to help me run operations at the new site. Priya transfers over as my second in command. We also bring on a safety specialist named Tariq and an equipment manager named Elena. All 3 of them are overqualified and underpaid at their current jobs. Same as I was. We spend 2 weeks before the official opening just running drills, testing emergency procedures, checking equipment, making sure every system works the way it's supposed to. When researchers start moving in, I want 0 surprises. Dr. Harper's team is one of the first to transfer. He's been assigned a bigger lab space at the new facility, which should make him happy. But when he walks through for the first orientation tour, his expression is sour. The storage access requires a biometric scan and a 6-digit code. He asks, looking at the cryogenic system. Yes, I say. And every access is logged with timestamp and user ID. That seems excessive. It's industry standard for facilities handling this level of sensitive materials. Tariq jumps in. Actually, we're on the lower end of security compared to similar labs. Dr. Harper doesn't argue, but I can tell he's not happy. Too bad. This is my facility now, and we're doing things right from day 1. The official opening is on a Tuesday morning. Dr. Kelso gives a speech about innovation and growth. Local news cameras show up to film the ribbon cutting. It's a whole thing. Afterward, there's a reception with catered food and tours for anyone who wants them. I spend 3 hours walking groups through the facility, explaining the safety features, showing off the new equipment. At one point, I notice my old manager standing near the refreshments table, talking to someone I don't recognize. She sees me looking and quickly turns away. She didn't transfer to the new site. Stayed at the old lab, probably hoping she'd never have to deal with me again. That evening, after everyone leaves, I walk through the empty facility alone. The lights are dimmed, equipment humming quietly. My footsteps echo on the polished concrete floors. This is mine. Not in the sense that I own it, but in the sense that I built it. Every procedure, every safety protocol, every optimization. It's all stuff I designed or implemented. My phone buzzes. It's a text from Jamie. Saw you on the news. Very official looking. We still on for drinks Friday? I smile and text back. Definitely. The first week at the new facility is chaotic. Small problems pop up constantly. A ventilation system makes a weird noise and we have to call the manufacturer. Some of the equipment arrives damaged and needs to be replaced. 2 different research teams show up at the same time expecting to use the same space because someone screwed up the scheduling. But we handle it. Every problem gets solved. By the end of the week, things are running smoothly. Then Friday afternoon, Dr. Harper storms into my office. We have a problem, he announces. I look up from my computer. What kind of problem? The new documentation system is rejecting my sample logs. I've been trying to submit them for 2 hours and it keeps giving me an error message. I pull up the system on my screen. What's the error code? He reads it off his phone. I type it in and the issue becomes immediately clear. You're using sample IDs from the old system, I say. The new system has a different format. You need to update your IDs. Why wasn't I told about this? It was in the training materials. Page 17 of the documentation guide. His jaw tightens. I don't have time to read through 50 pages of documentation. It's 32 pages, I correct. And yes, you do. That's your job. My job is research, not paperwork. Your job is whatever is required to do your research safely and correctly. That includes paperwork. We stare at each other for a long moment. Then he says, "Can you just fix it for me?" No, why not? Because then you won't learn how to do it yourself. And next time you'll come ask me to fix it again. The instructions are on page 17. Follow them. He turns and leaves without another word. 20 minutes later, Priya stops by my office. Dr. Harper just submitted his sample logs. Formatted correctly. Good, I say. He seemed pretty angry about it. He'll get over it. But over the next few weeks, a pattern emerges. Dr. Harper finds reasons to complain about the new systems. The documentation is too complicated. The access protocols are too slow. The safety checks are too frequent. Each time, I review his complaint, determine it's not valid, and tell him no. He starts going over my head, sending emails to Dr. Kelso about how the new procedures are, hampering his research. Dr. Kelso forwards each email to me and asks for my assessment. Provide detailed responses explaining why each procedure exists and what the consequences would be of removing it. Dr. Kelso backs me up every time. After about a month of this, Dr. Harper stops complaining, or at least stops complaining directly to me. I hear through the grapevine that he's venting to other researchers, calling me a bureaucrat and saying I'm on a power trip. I don't care. Let him vent. As long as he follows the rules, he can think whatever he wants about me. Then one morning, I come in to find Elena waiting outside my office looking stressed. We have a situation, she says. My stomach sinks. What kind of situation? Someone accessed the cryogenic storage last night at 2 a.m., but there's no log of what they did. The system shows they entered and exited, but no samples were checked in or out. I pull up the access logs on my phone. The user ID belongs to Dr. Harper. Get Tariq, I say. We need to do a full inventory of the storage room. It takes 3 hours to verify that nothing is missing and nothing was moved. Whatever Dr. Harper was doing in there at 2 a.m., he didn't disturb any samples. But that's not the point. The point is he accessed a secure area outside normal hours and didn't log his activity. That's a major violation of protocol. I email Dr. Harper. Need to meet with you at 2 p.m. today regarding lab access. Please bring your research notes from last night. He replies immediately, I don't have time today. I write back, make time. This is not optional. At 2 p.m. he shows up at my office 20 minutes late. He doesn't sit down. What's this about? He asks. You accessed the cryogenic storage room at 2 a.m. last night. The system shows you entered, but there's no record of what you did while you were in there. I was checking on something. What specifically? One of my samples. I thought the temperature might be off. Was it? No, everything was fine. I lean back in my chair. You're required to log all activities in the storage room. That includes checking temperatures. You didn't log anything. It was the middle of the night. I forgot. That's not acceptable. These protocols exist for a reason. If something had happened, if a sample had been compromised, we'd have no record of who was in there or what they did. Nothing happened, he says. This is exactly what I'm talking about. You're making a big deal out of nothing. Someone accessing a secure area and not following procedure is not nothing. This is your first formal warning. If it happens again, you'll lose your access privileges. His face goes red. You can't do that. I need access to my samples. Then follow the procedures. It's really simple. He leaves, slamming my office door hard enough that the picture on my wall rattles. Priya pokes her head in a minute later. That sounded fun. He's pissed, I say. He'll get over it. I'm not so sure about that. And I'm right to be concerned. Because Dr. Harper doesn't get over it. Instead, he escalates. The next week, I get called into a meeting with Dr. Kelso and someone from corporate HR named Wallace. They're both sitting at the conference room table looking serious. Have a seat. Dr. Kelso says. I sit down, my heart pounding. Wallace opens a folder. We've received a formal complaint from Dr. Harper. He's alleging that you're engaging in harassment and creating a hostile work environment. My mouth goes dry. What? He claims you're targeting him specifically with excessive scrutiny and punitive actions because of past conflicts at the old facility. I look at Dr. Kelso. That's not true. I know, Dr. Kelso says, but we have to investigate any formal complaint. That's policy, Wallace continues. I'll need to interview you about your interactions with Dr. Harper. I'll also be speaking with other staff members to get a complete picture of the situation. What happens if he's lying? I ask. Then the complaint gets dismissed and noted in his file. But we have to follow the process. The interview takes 2 hours. Wallace asks detailed questions about every interaction I've had with Dr. Harper since the new facility opened. Every email, every meeting, every procedural correction. I answer everything honestly. I also provide copies of all relevant documentation. The access logs showing his violation. The emails where he asked for special exemptions. The training materials he claimed he didn't have time to read. Do you feel like you've treated Dr. Harper differently than other researchers? Wallace asks. I've held him to the same standards as everyone else, I say. If anything, I've given him more patience than I would give someone without his history. His history? He's the reason I almost lost my job at the old facility. He blamed me for his own mistake, and instead of investigating, management believed him. So yes, we have history, but I haven't let that affect how I do my job here. Wallace makes notes. And the formal warning you gave him last week was completely justified. He violated access protocols. Anyone else would have gotten the same warning. Can you provide examples of other staff receiving similar warnings? I pull up my records. Over the past 2 months, I've issued formal warnings to 3 other people for various protocol violations. None of them were Dr. Harper. Wallace reviews the documentation and nods. Thank you. I'll be in touch once I complete my interviews. I leave the conference room feeling sick. This is exactly what I was worried about. Dr. Harper is trying to get me fired, and he's using the system to do it. That evening, I call Jamie. I need to talk. We meet at a bar near my apartment. I fill her in on everything while working my way through a gin and tonic. He's such an asshole, Jamie says when I finish. He's smart, though. He knows how to work the system. A harassment complaint is serious. If corporate decides there's any validity to it, I could lose my job. But you have documentation of everything. So did I last time. Didn't stop them from demoting me. Jamie is quiet for a minute. Then she says, this is different, though. You're not some low-level employee anymore. You're operations coordinator. You report directly to Dr. Kelso. You've improved safety and efficiency at both facilities. They're not going to fire you over one scientist's grudge. You don't know that. No, but I know you. And I know you've done everything right. That has to count for something. I want to believe her, but I've been burned before. The investigation takes 3 weeks. During that time, Wallace interviews what seems like half the staff. I see him around the facility constantly, always with his iPad, always taking notes. Dr. Harper avoids me completely. We don't interact at all except through email, and even those messages are brief and formal. Finally, Wallace schedules another meeting. Same conference room, same setup. Dr. Kelso is there again. I've completed my investigation, Wallace says. Based on my interviews and review of documentation, I found no evidence to support Dr. Harper's allegations. Your actions were consistent with your role and responsibilities. You applied the same standards to Dr. Harper that you applied to all other staff. Relief floods through me. So the complaint is dismissed? Yes. It will be noted in Dr. Harper's file that he filed a complaint that was found to be without merit. What happens to him? I ask. That's between Dr. Harper and Dr. Kelso, Wallace says. But making false allegations is taken seriously. After Wallace leaves, Dr. Kelso and I sit in the conference room alone. I'm sorry you had to go through that, he says. Is he going to face any consequences? Dr. Kelso nods slowly. I'm reassigning him back to the old facility. His team can stay here, but he'll be working remotely. He'll only come to this site when absolutely necessary, and when he does, he'll have supervised access to the storage systems. So he's basically being demoted. He's being moved to a position where he can't cause problems for you. That's all I can do without firing him outright, and his research is valuable enough that corporate won't approve that. Even after he made false allegations? Even then. Academia is complicated. His grant funding is substantial. But I can control where he works and how he works. It's not perfect, but it's something. Dr. Harper will be someone else's problem now. That weekend, I actually relax for the first time in weeks. Jamie and I go hiking, something we used to do regularly before work got so intense. You seem lighter, she says, as we're climbing a trail overlooking the valley. I feel lighter, I admit, like I can finally breathe again. Think he'll try anything else? Maybe, but I'll be ready if he does. We reach the summit and sit on a flat rock looking out over the city. The new lab facility is visible in the distance. A modern glass building catching the afternoon sun. You built that, Jamie says, following my gaze. I built the systems inside it, I correct? Same thing. You took a mess and made it work. That's worth being proud of. Maybe she's right. Maybe I should let myself feel proud instead of just waiting for the next disaster. Monday morning, I come in to find an email from Dr. Kelso. Budget meeting at 11 a.m. Please bring your Q4 projections. Budget meetings are normally boring, but this one turns out to be important. Dr. Kelso announces that corporate has approved funding for a third facility. Construction starts next year. I want you to lead the operational planning for the new site, he tells me. Same as you did for this one. Around the table, a few people congratulate me. My authority is expanding. I'm not just running operations at one facility anymore. I'm essentially becoming the head of operations for the entire research division. After the meeting, Priya catches up with me. Third facility? That's huge. Yeah. 3 years ago, I was worried about losing my job over one scientist's lie. Now I'm overseeing 3 lab facilities. Character development? Priya jokes. That phrase again. Maybe it applies to me too. I'm not the same person who sat at her desk confused about why she wasn't invited to that meeting. I'm someone who fights for what she's earned. That afternoon, I'm reviewing equipment proposals when Tariq knocks on my door. Got a minute? He asks. Sure, what's up? He sits down looking uncomfortable. I heard something through the grapevine. Thought you should know. My stomach tightens. What is it? Dr. Harper is talking to other facilities about positions. Sounds like he's trying to leave. Good, I say. Let him. There's more. He's been telling people at other institutions that you're difficult to work with. That you have a personal vendetta against him. Of course he is. Even after his complaint was dismissed, he's still trying to damage my reputation. Can I do anything about that? I ask. Tariq shrugs. Not really. It's his word against yours. But I figured you should know in case someone reaches out to you for a reference. Thanks for the heads up. After he leaves, I sit there thinking, Dr. Harper is trying to poison my reputation in the broader research community. If he's successful, it could affect my ability to move up or move on in the future. But then again, I have Dr. Kelso backing me. I have a track record of success. I have documented proof that Dr. Harper's allegations were baseless. Maybe that's enough, or maybe I need to be more proactive. I draft an email to Dr. Kelso outlining what Tariq told me. I don't ask for anything specific, just make sure he's aware that Dr. Harper is potentially spreading false information about me to other institutions. Dr. Kelso replies within an hour. Noted. If anyone contacts me for a reference on Dr. Harper, I'll make sure they have complete information. It's a subtle threat. If Dr. Harper tries to trash my reputation, Dr. Kelso will respond by giving an honest assessment of Dr. Harper's behavior, including the false harassment complaint. 2 months later, Dr. Harper accepts a position at a university lab in another state. His last day is on a Friday. He doesn't say goodbye to anyone, just packs up his office and leaves. I hear about it from Elena, who heard it from one of Dr. Harper's former team members. He's gone, she says. Finally. How's his team handling it? I ask. They seem relieved, honestly. Apparently, he was pretty difficult to work with toward the end. That evening, Priya, Tariq, Elena, Jamie, and I go out for drinks to celebrate. Not explicitly to celebrate Dr. Harper leaving, but everyone knows that's what it's really about. To moving forward, Jamie says, raising her glass. We all clink glasses. Moving forward. I like the sound of that. Update 2. 6 months after Dr. Harper leaves, the third facility opens. This one is even bigger than the second, with specialized equipment for genetic research and enough space to house 4 different research teams simultaneously. I spend 8 months planning it. Every detail, every system, every protocol. By the time we cut the ribbon, I know that building better than I know my own apartment. Dr. Kelso gives me a new title, Director of Research Operations. It comes with another raise and a seat at the executive meetings where actual decisions get made. About the future of the company, I'm 29 years old and I'm sitting in rooms with people who have PhDs and decades of experience, and they listen when I talk. The day after my promotion is announced, I get a LinkedIn message from someone I don't recognize. The profile says her name is Reina Valdez, and she works in lab management at a biotech company across the country. Hi, I hope this isn't too forward, her message reads. But I heard about your work at your current institution, and I'm really impressed. Would you be open to a phone call? I'd love to pick your brain about how you built your operational systems. We schedule a call for the following week. Reina turns out to be dealing with a lot of the same issues I dealt with at the old facility. Researchers who don't follow protocols. Management that doesn't take operational concerns seriously. A general culture of research first, safety second. How did you change that? She asks. I didn't change the culture, I say. I created systems that made the culture irrelevant. People can believe whatever they want about safety protocols. But if the system requires them to log their samples before they can access storage, they're going to log their samples. So you forced compliance? I built infrastructure that made compliance the path of least resistance, I correct. That's different. If people feel like you're forcing them to do something, they'll resist. But if following the rules is easier than finding a workaround, most people will just follow the rules. We talk for over an hour. By the end, Reina asks if I'd be willing to consult on her lab's operational redesign. I've never done consulting before, I say. You should. You're really good at this. I tell her I'll think about it and we end the call. But the idea sticks with me. Consulting could be interesting. It could also be lucrative. I look up typical rates for lab operations consultants and nearly choke on my coffee. People charge hundreds of dollars per hour for this work. I mention it to Jamie that weekend over brunch. You should totally do it, she says immediately. I don't know. It feels like a conflict of interest, is it? You'd be doing it outside of work hours, right? Helping other facilities improve their operations doesn't hurt your current employer. I'd need to run it by Dr. Kelso, so run it by him. Worst case, he says no. Monday morning, I knock on Dr. Kelso's door. When he tells me to come in, I lay out the situation. The message from Raina, the consulting opportunity, my concerns about conflicts of interest. Dr. Kelso leans back in his chair, thinking, who would you be consulting for? Right now, just one biotech company in California, but potentially others in the future. Are any of them our competitors? No, different research focus entirely. He nods slowly. I don't see a problem with it. In fact, it might be good for us. If you develop a reputation as an expert in lab operations, that reflects well on this institution. Really? Really? Just make sure it doesn't interfere with your work here. And if you develop any new systems or procedures through your consulting, we get first access to implement them. That seems fair? Then go for it. Consider it approved. I reach out to Raina that evening and tell her I'm interested. We work out an initial contract, 20 hours of consulting over 2 months, virtual meetings and documentation review, plus 1 on-site visit. My first consulting project. It feels surreal. The work itself is challenging but rewarding. Raina's facility has a lot of problems, but they're all fixable. I help her design new documentation systems, revise their safety protocols, and create training programs for staff. The on-site visit is eye-opening. Walking through someone else's lab and seeing all the ways things could be better. Talking to researchers who are frustrated with current systems, but don't know how to change them. By the end of 2 months, Raina's facility has implemented most of my recommendations. She sends me a thank you email along with my final payment. You've made a huge difference here, she writes. I hope you'll consider taking on more clients. Word spreads. Raina recommends me to colleagues. I start getting messages from lab managers and research directors at other institutions. Within 6 months, I have 5 consulting clients. I do all the work in the evenings and on weekends. It's exhausting, but also energizing. Each facility has different challenges, different cultures, different needs. I have to adapt my approach each time, and the money is good. Really good. Within a year, I'm making more from consulting than I make from my full-time job. Jamie points this out one evening when we're grabbing dinner. You know, you could probably do this full-time if you wanted. Leave my job? The idea hadn't really occurred to me. Yeah, start your own consulting company. Work with whatever clients you want. Set your own schedule. That's risky. So is standing up to Dr. Harper. So is asking for your job back. So is pushing for the operations coordinator position. You've been taking risks for years. They've just been wrapped up in the context of employment. She has a point. I spend the next few weeks thinking about it. Really thinking. Running numbers, considering options, playing out different scenarios. The thing is, I like my job. I like what I've built at the 3 facilities. I like working with Priya and Tariq and Elena. I like having Dr. Kelso's backing, but I also like consulting. I like the variety, the challenge of each new project, the satisfaction of fixing broken systems. Maybe I don't have to choose. I draft a proposal and send it to Dr. Kelso. The basic idea. I transition to a part-time role as Director of Research Operations, working 3 days a week on site and 2 days remotely. This frees up time for consulting while keeping me involved with the facilities I built. Dr. Kelso calls me into his office the day after I send the proposal. This is interesting, he says, tapping the printout on his desk. Is it crazy? I ask. Maybe, but I've learned that your crazy ideas usually work out. He pauses. The board won't like reducing your hours. Even if I maintain all my current responsibilities? Can you? I think so. Most of what I do now is meetings and strategic planning. Very little of it requires me to be physically on site 5 days a week. He considers this. Let me think about it. I'll need to run it by corporate. 2 weeks later, he calls me back to his office. They approved it, he says. With conditions, you maintain your current responsibilities. You're available for emergencies. And you give us first right of refusal on any procedures or systems you develop through consulting. That's fair. And one more thing. If this becomes successful enough that you want to go full-time with consulting, I want 6 months' notice. Enough time to find and train a replacement. I agree to all the conditions. Starting next month, I'll be working part-time as Director of Research Operations and building my consulting business. It's terrifying and exciting in equal measure. The first few months of the new arrangement are bumpy. I'm trying to balance responsibilities, manage clients, stay on top of everything. I have moments where I'm convinced I've made a huge mistake, but gradually I find a rhythm. 3 days a week at the facilities, focused and efficient. 2 days a week consulting, helping other institutions solve problems. Evenings for follow-up work and documentation. My consulting client list grows. I'm working with 8 different facilities now, spread across the country, Some projects are small, just a few hours of consultation. Others are extensive, months-long engagements redesigning entire operational frameworks. I hire an accountant to manage the business side, create a website, develop standardized service packages, actually run a business instead of just taking on random projects. 2 years after I started consulting, I have 15 clients and a waiting list. I've helped labs improve their safety records, streamline their procedures, and save hundreds of thousands of dollars in prevented losses. And then I get a call that changes everything. The voice on the phone introduces herself as Dr. Patricia Okafor, Director of Operations for a major pharmaceutical research consortium. We're building a new research campus, she says. 5 buildings, integrated lab facilities, cutting-edge everything. And we need someone to design the operational systems from scratch. That sounds like a massive project, I say. It is. 18 months of work, minimum, full-time. I can't do full-time. I have other clients and responsibilities. We know. We've been watching your career for a while. The work you've done is exactly what we need. So here's what we're proposing. Come work for us for 2 years. Design our systems, train our staff, make sure everything runs smoothly. In exchange, we'll pay you triple what you're currently making and give you equity in the consortium. I almost dropped the phone. Triple? Plus benefits, relocation assistance if needed, and a substantial professional development budget. We want the best. You're the best. Can I think about it? Take a week, but we need an answer soon. Construction is already underway. I hang up and just sit there staring at my computer screen. This is the opportunity of a lifetime. The kind of project that could define my entire career. But it means leaving the facilities I built. Leaving Priya and Tariq and Elena. Leaving Dr. Kelso and Jamie and everything familiar. That evening, I call Jamie. I need advice. She listens as I explain the offer. When I finish, she's quiet for a long moment. You're going to take it, she finally says. Am I? Yes. Because this is what you've been building toward. You didn't spend years fighting for recognition and respect just to stay comfortable. You did it so you could do bigger things. But what about what? Your job here? Dr. Kelso knew this might happen. He built it into your agreement. The facilities? Priya is more than capable of taking over. Me, I'll visit. We'll video chat. Don't use other people as an excuse not to do something scary. She's right. I know she's right. I call Dr. Okafor back 2 days later and accept the offer. Telling Dr. Kelso is hard. I give him the 6 months notice as promised, and we spend those months training Priya to take over my role. She's nervous at first, worried about filling my shoes. You'll be better than I was, I tell her. You already understand the systems. You just need to trust yourself to make decisions. My last day at the facilities is emotional. Elena bakes a cake. Tariq gives a speech about how I taught him that standing up for what's right is always worth it. Jamie cries, which makes me cry. Dr. Kelso pulls me aside before I leave. You know you can always come back if things don't work out. I know. Thank you. For everything. Thank you, he says. You changed this place for the better. I drive away from the facility for the last time, watching it shrink in my rearview mirror. The building I helped create. The systems I built. The people I trained. I'm proud of what I did there. But now it's time to build something new. Update 3. The Pharmaceutical Research Consortium campus is in North Carolina. It's still under construction when I arrive, just a skeleton of steel and concrete surrounded by cranes and construction equipment. Dr. Patricia Okafor meets me at the site office on my first day. She's tall, maybe 50, with sharp eyes and a firm handshake. Welcome to chaos, she says, gesturing at the construction site. Building 1 should be finished in 4 months. Building 2 is 6 months out. The rest are still in early stages. When do you need operational systems in place? Yesterday, she says with a slight smile. But realistically, we need Building 1 fully operational in 6 months. Can you do that? Yes? Good, because the board is breathing down my neck. We've got research teams lined up waiting to move in. Millions in grant funding contingent on meeting deadlines. No pressure. I spend the first week just assessing the situation. The buildings are designed beautifully, but nobody thought about operational workflow. The labs are gorgeous, but the equipment storage is inadequate. The safety systems meet code, but barely. I write up a 50-page report detailing everything that needs to change. When I present it to Dr. Okafor, her expression doesn't change. How much is this going to cost? She asks. About $2 million in modifications and additional equipment. The board won't approve that. Then the facility won't work properly. Your researchers will be fighting for resources and space within 6 months. Safety incidents will be higher than industry standard. You'll lose time and money fixing preventable problems. She stares at me for a long moment. Then she picks up her phone and makes a call. Get me the board chair, she says. 20 minutes later, we're on a video conference with the board. I present my findings again, more diplomatically this time, but with the same core message. The current design is inadequate. The board chair, an older man named Vernon, frowns at his screen. Dr. Okafor, you assured us this design was vetted by experts. It was vetted by architects and engineers, Patricia says. But operational experts weren't brought in until now. That's my failure. I'm trying to correct it. Vernon looks at me. And you're certain these changes are necessary? I'm certain that without them, you'll have significant problems within the first year of operation. I can provide case studies from other facilities if you'd like. That won't be necessary. Patricia, you have authority to approve necessary modifications up to 3 million. Make it work. The video cuts out. Patricia exhales. Well, she says, I guess you're getting your changes. Over the next 6 months, I work 16-hour days redesigning workflows, specifying equipment, writing procedures, hiring staff. It's intense but exhilarating. I build a team of 12 people to help manage operations across the 5 buildings. We recruit from top facilities around the country, offering competitive salaries and the chance to build something from scratch. One of my new hires is a guy named Desmond, who reminds me a bit of Tariq. Sharp, detail-oriented, passionate about safety. He becomes my second in command, handling day-to-day issues while I focus on big-picture planning. Building 1 opens on schedule. The first research teams move in and start working immediately with minimal issues. The systems we built actually work. Dr. Okafor is impressed. You made this look easy, she says. It wasn't easy, but I've done it before. That's why we hired you. Buildings 2 and 3 open over the next 6 months. Same process, same results. By the end of my first year, 3 of the 5 buildings are fully operational and running smoothly. I'm exhausted but satisfied. This is what I'm good at, taking complexity and making it functional. Then one morning, I get an email that stops me cold. It's from Greg, the guy who replaced me at my old job and then quit 2 weeks later. Hi, the email reads. I know this is random, but I heard you're doing big things in North Carolina. I'm looking for a new position and wondered if you might have any openings. I've learned a lot since we last worked together, and I think I could be an asset to your team. I read it 3 times, trying to figure out if this is some kind of joke. Greg is asking me for a job. The same Greg who couldn't handle basic documentation tasks. The same Greg whose failures directly led to the crisis that almost got me fired. I should delete the email. I should ignore it completely. Instead, I write back, thanks for reaching out. Unfortunately, we don't have any positions available that match your qualifications. Best of luck in your search. It's professional. It's polite. It's also deeply satisfying. His response comes an hour later. I understand. For what it's worth, I'm sorry about how things went down at the old lab. I was in over my head, and instead of admitting it, I just bailed. That wasn't fair to you or anyone else. An apology. After all this time, an actual apology, I don't respond. There's nothing to say. The apology doesn't change anything. But at least he acknowledged it. I tell Desmond about it later that day. We're reviewing equipment specs in my office, and I mention it almost as an aside. Wait, he says. That's the guy who took your job and screwed everything up? Yeah. And he asked you for a job? Yep, Desmond laughs. That's bold. Stupid, but bold. He apologized at least. Did you accept the apology? I think about this. I acknowledge that he sent it, but I don't think I've forgiven him. That whole situation caused me a lot of pain. An email doesn't erase that. Fair enough, Desmond says. Some people don't deserve forgiveness. Maybe that's true. Or maybe I'm just not ready to give it yet. 2 months later, Building 4 opens. This one houses the genetic research labs, the most complex systems we've designed. Everything has to be precisely controlled. Temperature, humidity, air pressure, contamination protocols. The first week is rocky. Minor issues pop up constantly. A sensor reading incorrectly, a door seal that's not quite tight enough, a ventilation system that's slightly out of balance. We fix each problem as it appears, but I can tell the research teams are frustrated. They want everything perfect immediately. During a particularly tense meeting with one of the principal investigators, a woman named Dr. Chen, she says, these problems should have been caught during testing. They were, I say calmly. We tested every system extensively. But there's a difference between testing and actual operation with full staff and equipment. Some issues only appear under real-world conditions. That's unacceptable. We're working with irreplaceable samples. One mistake could ruin months of work, which is why we have redundant safety systems and comprehensive monitoring. If something goes wrong, we'll catch it before any damage occurs. If? That's not reassuring. I take a breath, keeping my voice level. Dr. Chen, I understand your concern, but perfection isn't possible. What is possible is building systems robust enough to handle imperfection. That's what we've done here. She doesn't look satisfied, but she doesn't argue further. After the meeting, Desmond catches up with me. You okay? She was pretty harsh. I'm fine. She's not the first scientist to think operations people exist to make their lives difficult. How do you deal with it? I remember that I'm good at my job, and I don't need her approval to know that. It's a lesson I learned the hard way, years ago in that meeting where my manager demoted me without even telling me first. I don't derive my worth from what researchers think of me. I derive it from the quality of my work. Over the next few weeks, the issues in Building 4 get resolved one by one. The systems stabilize. Dr. Chen even sends me a brief email thanking me for the quick responses to her team's concerns. It's not exactly warm, but it's something. By the time Building 5 opens, I've learned enough from the previous 4 buildings that we have very few issues. The opening is smooth, the systems work, the research teams are happy. Dr. Okafor throws a celebration dinner at a fancy restaurant downtown. All the key staff are there, plus board members and major donors. During the dinner, Vernon, the board chair, gives a speech. 18 months ago, this project was behind schedule and over budget. We were facing the real possibility of failure. Then Dr. Okafor brought in someone who changed everything. He gestures to me. Your work here hasn't just met our expectations, it's exceeded them. You've created a facility that's already being recognized as a model for operational excellence. There's applause. People raise glasses. It's overwhelming. Later, Patricia pulls me aside. We need to talk about your contract. My 2-year commitment is almost up. What about it? We want you to stay, permanently, as Chief Operating Officer for the entire consortium. I thought this was temporary. It was supposed to be, but you've proven you're too valuable to let go. We're prepared to offer you whatever it takes. I'm quiet for a moment. COO of a major research consortium. It's the kind of position people spend their entire careers working toward. Can I think about it? Of course. But I hope you'll say yes. I spend the next week considering the offer. It's tempting. Really tempting. The salary is absurd. The position is prestigious. The work is meaningful, but something feels off. I call Jamie to talk it through. She's now a senior lab technician at the old facility, still working with Priya. What's the hesitation? She asks after I explain the situation. I don't know. It's a great offer. I'd be stupid not to take it. But I miss consulting. I miss working with different facilities, solving different problems. This would be just one place, one system for the rest of my career potentially, so don't take it. That seems crazy. This is a massive opportunity. So is having the freedom to choose your own projects. So is building your own company. So is not being locked into one place forever. She's right. Again, I tell Patricia that I'm declining the permanent position, but I'm willing to extend my contract for another year while they search for a permanent COO. This gives them time to find the right person and gives me time to transition everything properly. She's disappointed but understanding. You've already given us more than we expected. I can't ask for more than that. The next year is interesting. I'm training my replacement, a guy named Marcus, ironic I know, who has a decade of experience in pharmaceutical operations. He's competent, detail-oriented, and doesn't have the ego issues I worried about. While training Marcus, I also restart my consulting business, taking on small projects at first, then gradually bigger ones, building back my client list. By the time my contract ends, Marcus is ready to take over and I have 12 consulting clients lined up. My last day at the consortium, Patricia gives me a gift, a leather-bound notebook with my name embossed on the cover. For your next project, she says. We hug. I thank her for the opportunity. And then I leave. I spend the next 5 years building my consulting company into something substantial. I hire a small team to help with larger projects. We work with research institutions all over the world, designing operational systems, fixing broken processes, training staff. The work is challenging and rewarding. Each project is different. Each client brings unique problems, and I love it. One afternoon, I'm working from my home office when I get an email from an address I don't recognize. The subject line is long overdue. I open it cautiously. It's from Dr. Harper. I know you probably don't want to hear from me, the email reads. And I don't blame you, but I wanted to reach out and apologize. Really apologize, not just the empty words I gave you before. I keep reading. I've spent the last few years thinking about how I treated you, how I blamed you for my mistake, how I tried to ruin your career because I couldn't handle being held accountable. It was cowardly and wrong. I'm not writing this because I want anything from you. I'm writing because you deserve to know that I recognize what I did. And I'm sorry. You deserved better. I sit back in my chair processing this. It's been almost 8 years since that initial incident. 8 years of building a career, proving myself, becoming someone who doesn't need his approval or validation. And now he's apologizing. I think about responding. About telling him I appreciate the apology, but it doesn't change the past. Or about telling him exactly how much damage he caused and how long it took to recover. Instead, I close the email and archive it. Not delete, archive, maybe someday I'll respond. Maybe I won't. But right now, I have work to do. I pull up the project file for my current client, a genomics research facility in Singapore that's struggling with sample tracking procedures. It's a complex problem with a lot of moving parts. Exactly the kind of challenge I love. My phone buzzes with a text from Jamie. Dinner next week? I'm coming through your area for a conference. I text back, definitely. Let me know when. Life is good. Not perfect. Still complicated. Still challenging, but good. I think back to that afternoon 8 years ago, sitting at my desk, watching everyone file out of a meeting I wasn't invited to, feeling confused and betrayed and small. I'm not that person anymore. I'm someone who knows her worth, who fights for what she's earned, who builds systems that work and doesn't apologize for holding people accountable. That's worth more than any apology Dr. Harper could ever give. I open the Singapore project file and get back to work, because that's what I do. I solve problems. I build things. I make complicated systems work, and nobody can take that away from me. Not Dr. Harper. Not my old manager. Not anyone, it's mine. And I earned it.